30 love.
And catching Sampras by surprise by varying it at last to the forehand.
Sampras just can't get a hold of the ball.
40 love.
Great variety from the German. A lot of touch shots. And on the soft court, they're very hard to chase down. If you do get there, there's not much you can do.
Oh, well played. My goodness. Reading the intention of Sampras to go down his line, and it would have been a wonderful return of serve, but how quickly he got there to make his backhand volley. Nicely balanced and good hands. 2 games all. An equally good point there by Sampras.
Game Sampras. Sampras leads 3 games to 2. Third set, 1 set all.
Well, I think all the champions will tell you that it is the first match in any tournament, but particularly at the Grand Slams, where they feel perhaps least confident. And I think the fact that he lost in the first round of the French Championships must still be at the back of his mind, even if not at the forefront of his mind, and you can't dismiss those things.
Yes, and of course, of the Grand Slams, Wimbledon the most difficult because of the greenness of the court and the great traditions mean so much to the players, especially Pete Sampras, who really does admire the past champions, and he really is a great champion himself, having respect for the history of the game that he does. He looks very calm and relaxed, but he really is in a real battle, and I think this is where he has improved a great deal over the past year or two. He has become a really ferocious competitor. In his early days, he was a shot maker. If his shots were working, great, it was smooth sailing and he won, but on the days when he mistimed the ball and things weren't going quite right, he would not have the resources to manufacture a match like the McEnroes and the Connors of just a few years ago. Braash serving.
left.
The realization has dawned that he is as good as Sampras on these conditions. And again, Sampras going down the line with the backhand pass.
braash there, but just unable to get enough of the racket on the ball to push it over. 30-15.
40-15.
Certainly, Sampras will have his backhand well played in by the time this match is over.
More of that on BBC Two shortly, right after the Testers result.
Coming over the backhand, keeping it nice and low, it was solid. And this is the forehand down the line with a little bit of topper spin. Plays so often, so well.
Game braash. Three games all.
Three games all. Third set, one set all.
Small beer at the moment, John, do you think? Yeah.
15 all. Thirty 15.
Yeah, simply the power. Too great. And he was very late on his swing.
I'll challenge you. We're going to show Brian Shelton's winning point against Richard Braash.
James Sampras. Sampras leads 4 games to 3. Third set, 1 set all.
Well, in a way, John, it's amusing now to look back and think that this double champion twice in the last, I mean, the winner of the last 2 years. First 2 years he came here, he lost in the first round. I think it was Todd Woodbridge who beat him, and then Christo van Rensburg. But did you think then he was capable of ever winning it?
Well, I can tell you who did think he was capable was Stan Smith, because I stood with Stan watching that match, about court 7, I think, with Todd Woodbridge. And while Todd won the match, Pete, there was no question that he had great talent. He was going for his shots in a far more uninhibited way, making errors, and Stan was cringing at the errors. But you could just imagine when these shots started to come together, he was going to be a very dangerous player. And interestingly, the Australians at that time in the junior ranks were Todd Woodbridge, Jason Stoltenberg, Richard Fromberg, who were all ranked ahead of Pete Sampras as juniors, and Jim Courier for that matter. But things certainly turned around in the senior ranks as Sampras's game matured and came together.
And of course he changed to a one-handed backhand from a two-handed.
Yes, he has that in common with Stefan Edberg. Also went through that process, and there's been a few others that have gone the other way. Paul McNamee was one. Tight match still. 3-4 in the third set.
15 love. All.
Yes, I don't think that was a misjudgment. I don't think he really had a play on that.
Ah. 30-15.
I have got 5 results. Check it's a billion.
30 all.
So a crucial moment has arrived in this match. 30 all, 3-4 down in the third set. A good first serve is required by Braash here. Lucky.
What Braash does differently here, he puts in a vicious kicker and that ball bounces right into the chest of Sampras, really caught him off guard. And while Sampras was picking himself up after that little drop volley, catching him off balance.
Game braash. Four games all.
Well, that was a very revealing moment. Played two very, very important points quite perfectly. Well, I think Sampras is realizing that that is the percentage play by Braash on those backhands. Was already moving to the spot if it had gone over.
Love.
Spotted that that was a short serve very early in the piece, did Braash.
Game Sampras.
And catching Sampras by surprise by varying it at last to the forehand. Nicely balanced and good hands. 2 games all.
Sampras just can't get a hold of the ball.
40 love.
Great variety from the German. A lot of touch shots. And on the soft court, they're very hard to chase down. If you do get there, there's not much you can do.
Oh, well played. My goodness. Reading the intention of Sampras to go down his line, and it would have been a wonderful return of serve, but how quickly he got there to make his backhand volley.